welcome back to another video. It is now approaching summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, so I thought I would bring you guys some light and healthy spring and summer inspired recipes. So I have quite a few things to show you, quite a few recipes, so hopefully you guys enjoy them. I do hope you try all of them out because they are all delicious and also quite healthy. So today's video, I'm actually collaborating with iHerb.com to bring you guys these recipes. And if you haven't heard of iHerb is an online store that specializes in health and wellness products. They've got over 500 vegan items. They've got a great selection, by the way, of vegan items. They also ship to over 160 countries. They're also a Google trusted store, and their customer service team actually provides support in 10 languages. So a really, really great store. They've got tons of items, and I've been supporting them for a very long time. So I hope you guys check them out. If you guys want to check them out, the link will be down below in the description box. And I've used a bunch of products from iHerb in this video, so whatever I used from iHerb will be linked down below in the description box. So definitely check out the items, and yeah. So if you guys want to see some delicious but light and healthy vegan recipes, keep on watching. So the first recipe is going to be a miso soup with some seaweed, and I'm actually going to be flavoring the broth here with some of these dried mushrooms from this brand called Fungus Among Us. How cute is that? This is from iHerb, of course, and I'm just going to take a small handful and I'm going to add it into a big bowl here, and I'm going to add some water so that I can soak the mushrooms. And I soaked them for quite a while, maybe like an hour or so, because I was doing some errands and stuff. And yeah. And now we're gonna soak some wakame seaweed. This is again from iHerb, and this actually soaks very quickly, so you actually only have to soak it for about 5 minutes or whatever it says in the instructions. So I soaked this like right before I was about to make the actual soup, and I'm just taking a very little bit, and this is going to expand quite a lot. Now when we're ready to make the soup, I'm actually going to take out the mushrooms, and I'm going to use them in the next recipe actually. So if you want to use it in the soup, you can just chop it up and just throw it in the soup, but I decided to save it for the next recipe. And now we're going to take the broth part, and I'm going to put it into a pot and bring that to a boil. And as always, the written instructions and the ingredients list will be listed in a blog post down below, so check that out in the description box. And next I'm taking the Sea Seasonings kelp granules from iHerb, and I'm going to put some into the broth there. And this is going to flavor that soup and give it more of that seafood flavor. And now we're going to take that wakame seaweed that we soaked earlier and add that into the broth. And as you can see, it's expanded quite a bit. Now I'm going to add some green onion that I chopped vertically, and I'm also going to add the miso paste, of course. And we want to bring that to a boil. Make sure that miso paste is nicely dissolved. Maybe give it a little taste and add more if you wish. And I'm also going to add some tofu as well, some soft tofu. Done with the miso soup here. You can pretty much eat it on its own, or you can serve it with some rice or some sort of noodles. I just served it with some soba noodles because I just had some on hand. So feel free to eat it however way you want. I like to also top it up with a few more chopped green onion because I think it tastes really, really good. But that's pretty much it, guys. Next, we're making a mushroom wild rice salad, and we are going to be taking some wild blend rice. This is from iHerb, and I'm going to be cooking that according to the instructions. And I'm going to actually be using my rice cooker because it is handy dandy. But feel free to use, whatever method you prefer. If you don't have a rice cooker, then you can cook it on the stove. Yes. while that rice is cooking, you can pretty much prepare whatever you want to add into the salad. And I'm going to be taking those mushrooms that we used in the earlier recipe, and we're going to chop that up and we're going to throw that into the rice. Yay! And I'm also going to, of course, chop some green onion because green onions are delicious with everything, basically. And for the sauce, we're going to use this Kikkoman organic soy sauce from iHerb, and we're going to throw that into a small bowl. And we're also adding some rice vinegar, some sesame oil, and also some maple syrup. And once the rice is cooked, we're going to add that into a big mixing bowl. And I'm also adding some edamame beans that I had in the freezer that I just cooked. And I'm also adding pretty much the rest of the ingredients, which includes some carrots as well. You can feel free to use whatever veggies you would like to use. And we're going to add that sauce and we're going to mix it together. And yes. And I realized I forgot to add the green onions again. Why do I always forget to do that until the last step? So yeah, we're gonna add the green onions and we're gonna mix it together and you're pretty much done. You can plate it and you can eat it like that. Or you can also add some toasted sesame seeds, which is what I love to do. But that's totally optional. And then here you go. Here is your wild rice salad. You can eat this warm or you can even eat this cold. Totally up to you. But I think this is a nice kind of lighter and delicious dish for the summer. Next dish is going to be dessert, and this is a vegan flan. Yes, guys, vegan flan. First thing we're going to do is make the caramel on top. So we're just going to melt some sugar. So I think next time I will put a little bit of water along with this, but essentially what you want to do is put some sugar onto a frying pan, and on medium-high heat you're just going to melt that sugar. And I just kind of stirred it a little bit, but it should turn into this kind of caramelly sticky syrup thing. And into your bowls you are going to add that caramel, and you're going to kind of try to spread it to the best of your ability. If it solidifies, I just kind of microwaved it a little bit to melt it again, and then I just kind of tried to spread it. But it doesn't have to be perfect. That's my motto. It doesn't have to be perfect. And here in a pot, we are going to add some soy milk. And we are going to use this agar powder. This is the thing that's going to make it very gelatinous and give it that consistency that we're looking for. So I got this from iHerb, of course. So we're going to use a tablespoon of that, throw that in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a boil while stirring it. Yes. And once it came to a boil and the agar has completely dissolved, you're going to throw that into a blender or a food processor. And I'm using this silken tofu from iHerb. I just forgot to show it on camera, so that's the packaging. But anyway, we're going to throw that in there as well. I'm using half of that packaging. And then we're going to add some sugar, some vanilla extract, a little bit of salt, and then we're going to blend it very nicely until it is very, very nicely blended. And once that is nicely blended together and completely smooth, you are going to pour that mixture into the bowls on top of that caramel, and then you're going to cover that up, put it in the fridge, and wait for about an hour and a half, or maybe even longer, but an hour and a half should do. And when you're ready to take it out, I actually dipped the bottom half of the bowl with a little bit of hot or warm water so that it makes it easier to take it out. And what you want to do is place a plate on top and then flip it over, and then you kind of wiggle it and you should be able to take it out relatively easily. So there you go, okay? And if you have any syrup left over, you can just pour that on top there, and you're pretty much done. Look how pretty that looks. Oh my gosh. Now, honestly, I think I definitely could tweak this recipe a little bit, add a little more of something. I'm not really sure what it's missing, but it's good, but it could be better. So if you have any suggestions on what to add into this, I think maybe a little bit more vanilla extract, maybe a little bit more sugar, that might do the trick, but I don't know. But I do hope you guys try this out. Maybe tweak it and let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just being a perfectionist, I don't know. Last but definitely not least, we're going to be making an acai bowl with our own homemade granola, and we are using these old-fashioned rolled oats from Bob's Red Mill, which I got from iHerb, and we're going to be adding that into a big mixing bowl. So that is for the granola, obviously, okay? We're also using these raw almonds, also from iHerb.com, and this is the Now Real Food brand, and we're going to be adding that into the mixing bowl as well. Also adding some chopped pecan pieces. I already had these in my kitchen, so I thought might as well throw them in. You can also throw in some dried fruit if you want. I'm adding a little bit of salt there, and I'm also adding a bit of vanilla extract, some maple syrup, and a little bit of coconut oil. And then we're gonna get dirty. Okay. Just make sure you use your clean hands and then just mix it with your hands, okay? And then we are going to take a baking sheet covered with parchment paper, and we are going to spread out that mixture as thin as possible. And then I baked this at 300 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 20 minutes, and I did flip the granola halfway through, so I just kind of stirred it around and flipped it to the best of my ability at about the 10-minute mark, and then baked it for another 10 minutes, and yeah. And once it's done, you should have a nice, delicious, crunchy granola, and you can actually put it into a nice jar once it's cooled down and store it in the fridge for about 2 weeks or so. So this is so good, guys. Seriously, like, try this at home. Okay, so now we're gonna make the acai bowl. Well, the smoothie bowl part. So we're just gonna take a frozen banana, and we're gonna take a handful of frozen berries. You can use whatever frozen veggies you wanna use. And I'm also adding some non-dairy milk. Now, you don't wanna add too much non-dairy milk because you still want it to be a pretty thick consistency. And we're using this acai liquid concentrate from Now Foods, which is also from iHerb. And we're gonna take a tablespoon of that, and that's gonna make it like an acai bowl because we're adding the acai, obviously. And then we're going to blend. I'm using a food processor because I find that it works better than my blender when it comes to making stuff like this. But you can use your blender if you have a nice blender, you know. And once that's nicely blended, you can actually add that into a nice bowl. And if you did have trouble blending it, just add a little bit more non-dairy milk at a time, and you should be able to get that nice, smooth, but thick consistency. And then we are going to just top it with whatever toppings you want. But I'm just going to top it with some granola, and I also topped it with some coconut flakes because that makes it look extra pretty, and it's also pretty delicious. So there you have it, guys, your own DIY acai bowl, and it's so easy to make. Once you have that granola made, it's pretty much a matter of just blending your fruit, and that's pretty much it. So simple, so delicious, and so much cheaper than going out and getting acai bowls all the time, okay, because that can definitely add up. So try it out at home, okay? It's so delicious. Definitely give it a go. Alright guys, that is it for the recipes. Once again, all of the links to the iHerb products will be listed in the description box down below for all the recipes and the ingredients list. Again, the link will be down below. I really hope you guys enjoy these recipes, and if you did enjoy them, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up in this video. And if you are new to this channel, and if you enjoy easy vegan recipes that are delicious and healthy and also cheap and lazy, then don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss videos in the future. And of course, as always, I will see you guys in my next video.